Voices call inside your head. Remember all the words you said. Look inside and you will find the strength to carry through it. So I say never give up, never give in. I want you to do something right, do it to win. Indestructible, yeah, indestructible. Voices call inside your head. Remember all the words you said. Look inside and you will find the strength to carry through it. So I say never give up, never give in. I want you to do something right, do it to win. Indestructible, yeah, indestructible. Voices call inside your head. Remember all the words you said. Look inside and you will find the strength to carry through it. So I say never give up, never give in. I want you to do something right, do it to win. Indestructible, yeah, indestructible. never give up, never give in. I want you to do something right, do it indestructible. Yeah, indestructible.
Semi-finals. Bunny. Trap. 2021 GSL Season 2. Code S. Africa TV. Freak Up Studio Live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
The GSL Code S Round of 4, Day 1 starts now. Trap vs. Bunny is going to be our only match of the night. It's going to be an amazing best of 7. We've seen Trap get so far so many times. Bunny, an unusual character to have in a setting like this, and the only Terran that made it this far.
Only Terran that made it in the round of 8. Which is this crazy record that it's been since 2012 that we haven't had one of the 4 horsemen in the round of 8. So he was the only. It's crazy. It's never happened basically. Also, Bunny has been playing in GSL for 8 years. Has never been in the round of 4 before.
Yeah, 8 years is almost the entirety of GSL. This is an 11-year-old show, and as you said, Bunny's been here for 8 of those.
Yeah.
But has finally made it this far. Again, StarCraft is a game that you can play your whole life and keep learning and keep discovering stuff. And some players come out on top very early on, and other players it takes a long time. And it seems like Bunny, his 8-year journey has led him here. Will it bring him to the next step? He already did it once in the round of 8. If he could do it again in the round of 4, that would be insane.
Yeah, who knows, man? And honestly, you look at this bracket. If Bunny wins this tournament, that's insanity because this bracket is so difficult. Like, these 3 players know how to win so hard. We have 2 world champions and then the best Protoss in the world left alongside Bunny. So good luck, Bunny. You know? That's it's pretty crazy.
And Trap very well could take this entire tournament. I mean, Trap is really...
He should be the favorite, actually, this tournament, honestly.
We've got 2 very different Protosses in the Final 4, parting, of course, the kind of crazy, chaotic, creative, intuitive Protoss, and Trap, the very disciplined, new age, calculated Protoss that is really what a lot of people are studying right now. But Bunny is really, he's improved on his own style.
Yeah.
He stayed true to the way he's approached the game and a lot of the little nuances you see in how he plays. But first, let's go to an interview here and see how they're feeling, then we'll go into our games.
The round of 4 of this season is special compared to other seasons. These 2 players have not had the success they wanted despite their good performance. And these 2 players are the examples of hard effort and practice. And these 2 players have also gained perfect 3-0 victory in the round of 8 to get here. We'll have an interview with Trap and Bunny. Hello. Hello. So Bunny, you first. In the round of 16 and the round of 8, you've had pure wins to get here to the round of 4. And this round of 4 stage is the first time for you, Bunny. How are you feeling? I'm not that nervous. I did come here with thorough preparation. I just wanted to get into the match now. Well, not nervous at all, Bunny. Okay. This is your first time preparing for a GSL round of 7 match, best of 7 match. And in the round of 8 interview, you mentioned that you watched DRG's matches 100 times. So what about Trap today? Well, I know Trap quite well. So I did analyze him pretty well, and I did practice a lot. And since I did make good preparation, I want to put on a good match today. Alright, that's good to hear, Bunny. Alright, let's have an interview with Bunny, Trap. Out of all the round of 4 players, this is, you're the only player to have advanced 2 consecutive times to round of 4 in the GSL. How are you feeling today? Well, it's always the same mindset, to be honest. You know, I just wonder how I can raise my win probability in my strategies. Well, the only thing same as the last season's GSL round of 4 is that your opponent is Terran, and then you lost to Maru 3-4 back then. And what are your thoughts on your opponent today, Bunny? I think he's an easier opponent compared to Maru. the situation right now and back then is different.
오늘은 좀 자신감도 있고
Today I'm full of confidence
경기 준비가 잘 된 것 같아요.
and my match preparation has been well done.
자신감이 좀 없었어요.
At the time, I lacked confidence, to be honest.
오늘은 재밌을 것 같아요.
So today I'm gonna have fun.
상대로 상당한 자신감을
Wow,
드러내고 계시는데요.
Trav is boasting a lot of confidence against Bunny.
두 선수의 오프라인 다전제 대결에서 조성호 선수가
In single
승리한
offline best of match between these two players, it was Trav taking the win.
성호 형이랑은
What are your thoughts, Bunny?
제가 한 번 지면은 한 번 이기고
You know, every time I play against Trav, it's either like one loss for me, one win for me.
지기 전에는 제가 또 몇 번 이겼거든요.
So before I lost to him 3-0, I actually won. I actually beat him a couple of times. So today, I think I can win today.
이길 것 같다 하시는데요.
What are your thoughts, Trav?
지금 하는 거는 오프라인 대회이기 때문에
Well, this is an offline match,
다르거든요.
and it's completely different, Bunny.
나름의 징크스인 것 같은데 우리 만났을 때 징크스인 것
So I
같아요.
think it's a jinx between us,
해보도록 하겠습니다.
but you know, I'm gonna try to break the jinx today.
이렇게 정리를 해주셨는데요. 두 선수 정말 간절하게
And the two
결승을
players
기다리고
are
있습니다.
equally
이재성
desperate for the
선수는
win today.
데뷔 첫
Only one player will get the
결승이
finals ticket,
또 조성호 선수 역시 2019년 이후 2년 만에 결승에
and this is Trav's Trav going to the finals after 2 years if he does win today. So anything you want to say to each other first? Bunny, you first.
그냥 서로 좋은 게임 하고.
Let's try to have a good match today and try to have fun.
재밌게 게임하자고 하시는데요.
Okay, what are you, Trav?
제가 하고 싶은 말을
That's exactly the same thing I wanted to say.
재밌는 게임 했으면
Let's have a fun match today, Bunny.
자, 두 선수 모두에게 정말 간절한 결승이
And the two
걸려
players
있습니다.
are
이재성
very
선수와
desperate for this
조성호
win.
선수,
Who will it be
경기
taking the final spot?
Yeah. I'm ready to play now. Put me in the game now. I came here to prove it. I'm ready to do it. I can't be afraid now. Put me on the stage now. I'm ready to rage now. I feel like an animal stuck in a cage and I'm ready to break out. My time, nothing can keep me from reaching the top. This time, like the last time, I'm moving so fast, I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to throw down, it's time for the showdown. I'm ready to rise, don't be surprised, I'll take on the world now. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. Lower the lights down, hand over my crown, hand over my heart. I do this for my town, I do this for my crowd. So turn me up real loud. My time, none of you people can tell me to stop. My time.
All right, let's start this best of 7. Bunny versus Trav. Again, Bunny, the only Terran to make it to the round of 8, which is insane when you think of the Terrans that Korea has. And then Trav, the most consistent Protoss of the modern era. Let's say the last 2.5, 3 years. Trav has really been on top and looking very much so on the cutting edge. But Bunny comes with his own style. We don't normally talk about Bunny's style in any kind of profound way, right? We're used to having this guy be one of the Terrans in the background. We're used to having a TY, a Maru, at times an Innovation come out really leading the forefront of the way the race is understood. But Bunny has brought an iteration of himself that is better than anything we have seen of him in the past 8 years.
Oh, that's for sure. He's really filled out at this point. His TVP looking really, really strong as well, like surprisingly next level strong. I'm excited to see what he brings against Trap, because honestly, this is the ultimate test. If you can beat Trap, then you really got the matchup down, right? It's not a lot of Protosses. They rely on a couple little gimmicks and get way far ahead and then kill you with charge lots. That's not Trap. Trap is going to play every aspect of this game to its absolute top level. And if Bunny can actually fight against that, because you can't cheese him out in a best of 7. That's literally not going to work. You could get all the cheesiest Terrans in the world together and try to cheese out Trap in a best of 7. He's going to solve you, and he's going to win. So you have to be able to also mix in the macro games.
Yeah,
so
I do wonder what Bunny's macro game is going to look like up against Trap, because that's where Bunny honestly has looked the strongest, is when he gets all of the gears spinning, all of the, all the wheels spinning. It's a moment where he can absolutely crush. But Trap is very good at tripping up players early on. I mean, he's always kind of taken that Protoss approach of having a few tricks in the early game that can manipulate the way that Terran's going to behave and put the Protoss in a position that's going to be much more favorable. So we want to watch for that as well.
I think that they both have a pretty darn good range right now. But really the question here tonight is more about Bunny. Like in that interview, it made me feel like I already thought that Trap would probably win, but I feel even more confident. The fact that he's talking about like, oh, my preparation went well. I feel very confident. And he's been at this stage so many times. Like he's going to be a record setter, right? Like he's going to, honestly, looking at him, he's going to eclipse what even Stats did. Like I think likely he's going to eclipse what Rain did. I think likely he'll eclipse what Zest has done, maybe.
Well, I think he will absolutely eclipse all 3 of those players, and
that makes him the best Protoss ever.
He looks more comfortable than pretty much anybody that we have anymore that gets to these stages.
Yeah.
He's done it so many times. He really seems like he's very natural up there. And then you have to consider the fact that his style seems to be more overall stable and workable. And when I say stable, I don't mean stable like the way Stats played where he was very defensive, right, and trying to get ahead. I mean, Trap seems to have a wider range. It's just a lot of times harder for his opponents to put into words what's going to be coming at them. You know, he really knows the ebb and flow of the game. He'll play aggressive and tricky sometimes, but other times he almost plays like a Zerg, hanging back, watching, reacting, and getting ahead in that way. And you never really know what kind of trap you're going to get.
Yeah.
Now, Bunny has just brought in the best version of his own play. He's looking stronger. He's looking much more capable when we get into the macro games, able to multitask, able to keep up in some of these insane split map scenarios. So let's see how this goes. We're going to start on Blackburn. This is Bunny versus Trap, Game 1 in our best of 7. The winner is in the GSL Season 2 Finals.
Team NV, Bunny. Africa Breaks, Trap.
I actually want to talk about the best Protosses ever for a moment, because that kind of like piqued my interest, because I hadn't really thought of this before it started coming out of my mouth. But, okay, so the best Protosses ever are MC, Rain, Zest, Stats.
Yeah.
Those are the best ever. MC, obviously, he opened it all up and showed us how to abuse force fields, which set the metagame of Protoss for years to come.
He was very good in the very messy early stages of StarCraft 2.
Yeah. And of course, there have been other good Protosses and stuff, but really Rain kind of showed that more defensive macro toss can be played, and really was a dominator with that. And then you had Stats and Zest come along, and Stats more of the successor of Rain, I think, in a lot of ways, because Zest much more an optimizer. I guess you can kind of throw Parting into this list as well as one of the best Protoss ever.
Yeah, I think you'd have to put Parting in there for sure.
Yeah, that would make sense. And of course, like, I guess SOS has enough championships that you probably want to mention him as being, he's kind of like a weird outlier. Like, he's way off to the side as a creative genius.
Well,
and then
I mean, he's a 2-time world champion. I mean, he's absolutely been on the forefront of the race.
Yeah, yeah. But, like, the more standard styles, looking at them, right, so those are the names, really, those ones that we just mentioned. SOS and Parting definitely need to be added to that. Zest, Stats, MC, Rain. But I want to mention, right, because a lot of times we compare Trap to Stats because he's got such good defensive macro play and such good late game, and both of those are true. But actually, the Protoss that he relates most to is Rain. Rain had a wider range than Stats. And then the thing is, like, after Rain came Zest and Stats, right? So it's like, but Zest is very different. So I just want to throw that out there. That's kind of It just popped in my brain that. Would you agree on that? He's much more of a rain
100%.
type. Yeah.
100%, I would agree with that.
Oh, that's cool.
I think comparing him to a lot of the more modern Protosses makes it a little bit more difficult to really articulate where he's at because the other modern Protosses play extremely differently, and you've got Parting who's still making his style work.
Totally.
Now, in this game, we have a proxy Robo, the Pylon on one side of the gold minerals, the Robo on the other, and this is not a...
it's interesting. It's after Nexus.
It's not a normal build, to say the least.
Definitely not.
Over here, though, we have Bunny going for a Widowmine drop, which makes me worried for Trap. Granted, the entry point here for Bunny's base is going to be a little bit squishy, especially if we start to get Stalkers, if we get a Warp Prism that can shuttle them over, if we get Immortals that can pound that, because these Widowmines are going to be intended to hit the main base. But at the same time, I also worry for Trap here. He's not going to have detection in the right spot that he's going to need. He's not going to have... I mean, he doesn't obviously have Oracles or anything like that that can detect this. So this is a moment where we have two extremely chaotic builds that are basically intended for the opposing player to be playing normally. They're not at all. And so these could be some of the most insane early games you ever have in StarCraft.
Yeah, and I think Bunny's is actually slightly better because there's one observer. It's going to be way out of position. Look, the armory is about to finish, so he actually needs that observer, and he needs it now. Does he have energy to recall it over? Does he just walk it over? And the thing is, he's sitting here on one base like, oh, man.
Oh!
What? Oh, my God.
He actually got the kill on that mine. There's a second mine drop inbound, by the way. So the observer's back here.
He must, maybe he recalled it, or maybe it just came straight home, too. That's a possibility.
I believe he recalled it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I saw him recall it.
Yeah, but 6 already killed off. Really fantastic. Look at this, a second full of mines. Here he goes. Oh, this is crazy, man. That's enough mines to kill those Stalkers, even.
Yeah. Oh, doesn't quite juke correctly. Oh, and that worker literally escapes inside. Can you get these probes over here? I think there's enough surface area that can be saved down. Yes, they can. So, you know, a pretty incredible interruption here. Again, Widowmine drops, something Protoss absolutely hate because of the speed at which they come out. If you're just not ready in time, you can end up losing all your workers.
Yeah. Wild. Okay, 2 observers are out, 2 Immortals are out. The army of Bunny is super duper small, so the Immortals actually could be a big problem.
In fact, there's nothing here at the entrance.
Yeah, that Immortal just going to solo that building bunker.
Okay, here we go. Now the Marines are going to come down. He needs to be careful with these Immortals. Immortals are not that fast. But having 2 here is going to pressure the Terran into running back up the ramp. Right now, Trav is in a slight lead here with workers. And it looks like he wants to just go for a bust here. He's just going to come right up. We don't have a Warp Prism with this, so they can't quite be micro the way that Protoss would want, but it looks like he's going to get on this tank.
Ooh.
And I worry now this may just be too much damage.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Like, okay, another tank comes out. Maybe he just holds for now. A mine drop going down.
Oh!
Yeah, I mean, it gets some, but is that really enough? He's taking a bunch of damage at home himself.
Oh, no, that depot burned down. Granted, he has plenty of supply there. I think Bunny might have been a little bit unsafe with this build. I mean, you can do a lot of damage, but Widowmines, when you do these drops like this, they kind of function like Banelings. Like, you're not going to usually have the Widowmines again later to incorporate with your army, so he really didn't have anything. The Stalkers had enough to hold. And this counter attack is going to be risky because I think Protoss can just walk in and win. And I think he was going to try to do that anyways with this Warp Prism coming up. Yeah. But now it should be a very straightforward execution.
Definitely, I agree with that.
Just waiting for this Guardian Shield with the Sentry to come up.
He has a couple tanks. He has a Viking there, so there's like some tools. Now, as the medevac goes over, I wonder if Trap will just push. Like, I think with it, oh man, he gets the Viking as well. Like, that's the only thing that was going to stop the Prism from just dancing around and juggling the Immortal.
I almost feel like Trap is playing too scared here. Like, I think he can actually just kill him.
But honestly, keeping him up in his main base is in some ways safer, right? Like, yeah, maybe I see what you mean. Like, he might just be able to kill him. But if Bunny doesn't get his expansion running, like, really soon, he's down 11 workers. He's down a base. He doesn't have anything going on.
All right, he comes in here now. And we've got a little drop over here. Tries to go for that medevac. Not going to be enough.
Yeah, picking off a few here, and yeah, going after the medevac. Oh, the overcharge, very nicely done. Going to help him to fight this right off. Doesn't lose that many stalkers. Yeah, Trap's defense a little bit too strong here. Definitely favored for him at the moment. You know, I think it was just such a good play, and so fortunate that he had the energy for that recall in the Observer, right? Like, the mine drop's not doing quite enough, and then the counterattack of Trap doing quite a bit.
Yeah, so where does this game go now? I feel like it was an insane beginning, but I can't imagine the Terran succeeding with this counter push, right?
Never.
I mean,
never.
I was going to say a second ago, maybe Terran kind of sits back and waits it out, but that's always kind of scary to do with Trap. So he was going to push across, but with these Stalkers coming in here, able to kill the Marines and even threaten denying Stim, which would be just, you know, hitting the brakes on all Terran opportunities.
No, that little army he was walking out with, I'm not even sure what the idea is. He might just not be in complete touch with exactly how far behind he is.
You could be right about that. A lot of times when you have real crazy slugfest games where both sides come out, you know, in a completely different normal spot than you would have if the build was going smoothly. They sometimes aren't quite aware of where they're at. But yeah, if he had committed with that push, he would have died.
Yeah.
But now I think this counterattack, this is just an insane amount of Protoss units.
He's the deadest anyone's ever been.
Yeah.
Like, this is just, he could have like half of his army here, Trap, and the other half could kill one of his Nexuses, and he would still probably win this.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
That's it.
He got way too far ahead.
A really exciting game one, though.
It was cool. Like, you know, the Trap's little Immortal push really doing a great job. He blocked the mines actually better than I thought he even would. The mines didn't end up killing as much as I thought that they might. It was
I
it was
thought
very
that
well
was
done.
going to be a very Bunny favored start, and he would barely fend
too.
off the early part. But Trap responded extremely fast and very naturally, as Trap always does. Anything that looks like it's going to be awkward, you put Trap there and he just sort of flows through it and comes out on the other side fine. And I think Bunny had a very strong early game, but basically neglected to appreciate how much of a threat a counter push would be. We even saw him nodding there, probably reflecting on that last game. I think he's going to come in here with a different style, a different approach. Let's go to Oxide for game 2 with Bunny versus Trap.
Team NV, Bunny. Africa Freaks, Trap.
A very interesting first game, and with builds like that, you can't really judge where these players are at anyways. It's just it was a couple oddball builds going at each other like you mentioned. It just wasn't really a very standard game. Blackburn gives us a lot of odd ones too.
Yeah.
It's just kind of the layout of the map. Trap definitely looking on top of things. Very solid in his defense there.
Both players opened up with build orders that are basically meant to punish somebody that's developing normally, and because they both went for very, very different builds, it was a weird game. Like, we probably won't have another game that looks like that for a long time.
Yeah, if that's like a Stargate opener, let's say. I'm sure Bunny has a lot more practice against that. If that's a Blink opener, like, those are the two big openers, right? So if it's either of those, I'm sure that he does much better there, but it's like literally a proxy robo. So he has an Observer right at the beginning, which he recalls instantly. And then he has two Immortals that bust everything that Bunny has.
Yeah, I don't know how obvious it was to Bunny that the Robo was proxied either. Even though you see the Observer get recalled, you might assume the Observer was halfway across the map and the Robo was somewhere in the main.
Might have been.
Where you didn't fly by.
Sure.
But it was a pretty rude awakening there for Bunny when the Immortals did begin to bust down that entrance. And the second Immortal got there so quickly because I think that's really where Terran lost, was when they got pushed up onto the high ground. The finishing attack was really a result of starving the Terran for resources in the middle of that game 1.
Well, a very different opener here from Bunny this time. He's going directly into triple command center off of just a reactor barracks. Definitely a build that we see from time to time, not that far out there, but definitely a little bit greedy. And he's going up against a Twilight opener here from Trap. But it remains to be seen exactly which Twilight opener. Is it going to be the 2-gate into 3rd, which has become pretty popular? Is it going to be the 3-gate, like more of a pinning maneuver, or maybe even the 4-gate, like really aggro play?
So far, it's looking like a 2-gate, but we'll see if we have any more thrown in there. I think this is a 2-gate, though.
It'll probably be a 2-gate. That's just much more popular right now. And it's kind of more Trap style anyways. There's a 2nd gate. Robo.
So 3-gate.
No,
oh, is it just 2? I'm sorry.
No,
I thought the 2nd gate had already made. My bad.
Oh, no.
Okay, so 2-gate it is. Now, in this game, we got to watch and see.
3-gate.
Oh, this is going to be 3-gate.
Okay.
We got to watch and see how Bunny does if we get past the early game without any real interruptions, how he's going to handle it. All right, he's actually going to make
4-gate.
4-gate, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind everything we were talking about. It was going to be all the extreme of that. We thought it was going to be 2.
Yeah.
4-gate is intended to put on much more pressure and to punish any weakness Terran might have. Terran has to really respect the 4-gate, and a lot of times you don't know it's coming. The gates are very intentionally spread out so that it's not clear.
Honestly, you don't have a way to check unless you went for quick medevac. Really,
Right.
that's really the only thing. Like a quick drop, you're going to be able to see it.
So,
but here, absolutely not.
Any Terran who's too liberal on the map is going to get punished. Now, this is a 3 command center play. Barracks are being filled in later. This is something that could absolutely punish the Terran. And I think when you see that barracks being a little bit later over there, next to the rest of them, you probably have a sense this is going to be 3 command centers. And so this is a moment Bunny is going to be vulnerable. Bunny needs to have stellar defense. Usually a bunker in the main helps out a lot, and a tank as well. We have neither of those.
It's definitely a dangerous situation here for Bunny. But if he can hold with the 3 command centers, then he's going to be ahead.
Okay, so that Marine was so important because that should signal to him there's going to be an attack in there. Now, one of the approaches is to just dive bomb the front, and that's what we have here now. There's enough Stalkers that he could start to kill these SCVs. He didn't quite have the shots synced up in a way where he could guarantee a kill on the bunker, but killing 7 SCVs, now 8, certainly not bad.
You're so right, though. That one Marine just saved him.
Yeah.
He would have lost that bunker instantaneously, and he would literally have had to lift up.
Now, here we go. He's hoping that, okay, he beat me to it. If you don't repair fast enough, and the shots are all in unison, oh, the warp is up. If you can pull that off, he can blink back on top of this now.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah, then even though you might have had enough to repair that if you had been paying attention, you know, this is a game of fractions of a second, and we saw that there. Now, the second bunker's up. Not bad.
Yeah, look at this. He's got sentries, though, in that prism, so he can actually just lock units in or out, depending on where he wants to go. There's a bunker in the main base. Oh, this is so tricky. This is such a tricky moment.
Oh, my God. That was sick. A force field on the ramp. Again, there's no medevacs here. There's nothing to pick up. In an old-school Rush style,
This
the
is
likes
so
of
tough,
Puck
man.
or Grubby now putting the force field on the ramp to then dive bomb the main. Bunny's dead.
Yeah.
This game's over. And again, there was no medevacs there to try to swoop in, and now they're going to get zoned away. There's another force field. Trap just beat Bunny in game 2. In one of the more impressive games that I've seen.
Yeah, no, he executed well. Bunny's defense was good at first, but splitting up the ramp like that, your medevac is so late you can't really get any units back up inside. What can you do?
GG. Trap takes game 2. Now that was Trap identifying, you went for lots of barracks first. and you went for starports later on. That was not a barracks factory starport tech tree. That was command centers and barracks, which it's a real brawling force until you have one force field on the ramp.
Yeah.
And I actually didn't realize until the last second what was actually happening. Until I didn't register the sentry was inside the war prism when it came in there. And then when I saw the blink, I went, okay.
Yeah,
that was
you split the army like that.
Yeah.
He needs to fight with everything, and he needs to kind of catch you. If you blink up against the full army, it stims and kills you.
Right.
So the splitting was fantastic, and Bunny, he's down 0-2. Can he keep his calm and actually fight back here, or is Trap's experience just going to roll him over?
We were talking about it earlier, we'll talk about it actually after this break, guys. Short break. When we come back, Game 3 of Bunny versus Trap. Do not go away.
Time stops when we're alone. You got my love, don't let it go. Feels like we're paper thin, one step away from caving in. When you're out where all the wild roams, and you're looking for a way back home, I'll be like that only you can see.
함께 모이면 홈파티. 홈파티엔 먹방. 먹방엔 칠성사이다. 맛있어. 맛있는 자리에 빠질 수 없는 청량함. 칠성사이다.
퇴근하고 뭐해? 퇴근하고? 오늘은 유셰프, 내일은 유러너, 주말엔 유목수. 그걸 다? 본캐부터 부캐까지 하고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피. 칸타타 콘트라베이스. 이번 주 등산 어때? 등산 캠핑? 그래서 주말엔 낚시? 내가 낚인 거지. 그래도 나오니까 좋잖아. 일상에서 취미까지 나누고 싶은 게 많은 요즘 시대의 커피 칸타타. 아이시스 8.0을 챙긴다는 건 건강한 생각까지 챙긴다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0. 아이시스 8.0을 연다는 건 조금 이른 아침을 연다는 것. 나를 움직이는 핑크 에너지 아이시스 8.0.
디자인을 하면서 가장 중요하게 생각했던 부분은 울트라 기어의 차별화된 브랜드 메시지를 잘 나타내는 것입니다. 신과 영웅들의 최강의 무기들을 검토하였습니다. 그중 니케의 승리의 날개를 모티브로 지금의 울트라 기어의 로고가 탄생하게 되었습니다. 울트라 기어의 이니셜인 U와 G를 비상하는 날개의 형상으로 레드 색상을 사용하여 강력한 에너지와 힘을 나타내었습니다. 울트라 기어는 최상의 퍼포먼스로 진정한 게임의 즐거움, 승리의 기쁨을 여러분께 선사할 것입니다.
자, 준비되셨죠? 언제나 준비되셨죠?
네, 됐습니다.
꽂혔다면 쏟아부어
인생 직진 음료
하나씩 단체 개봉 쏟아부어
인생 음료
하나씩
그러면 사이 하겠는걸?
꽂혔다 안 꽂았다. 인생 음료
뭐야 이거 포스가 느껴지십니까? 꽂혔다면
치료는
내 포스가 느껴지십니까? 하나씩 꽂혔다면 인생 음료
이게 사의 맛이지. 기가 막히네.
꽂혔다면 쏟아져 인생 직진 음료
하나씩
핫 스트링
기분이 좋아요. 인생 능력. 코 탔다면
쏟아부.
잠깐만. 쏟다면 쏟아부. 인생 직진 음료. 하씨. 수고하셨습니다.
형좀 머리 했나?
이분 일단 잘해요.
계산이 좀 했어? 계산이 좀.
2명 빼고 다. 술이 아니라 하식스를 먹어요. 하식스. 조만간 하식스 한잔 하자고. 조만간 하식스 한잔 하자고.
직행하고 오니까 기분이 어때?
너무 편해요.
너무 편해?
사실 내려가고 싶지 않은 것인 것 같아요.
바로 직행하니까 기분 어때?
아, 기분 매우 좋아요.
점찍 하던 선수 있어요?
아, 스페셜 야겠네, 스페셜 야겠네.
언제 왔어? Are you with me? 잘 지내요? 네. 개운해? 너 어떻게 사귀네? 능력? 아? 너 어떻게 사귀? 너 어떻게 사귀? 야, 맞아. 뭐? 네? 이미 뽀뽀려고 있었던 거 같아.
만약에 희범이 성호가 낚아채거나 그러면
아, 이미
얘기가 됐다고?
더러운 놈. You say 제가 몇 달? 원달? 아니? 아니? 왔다. 희도 누구는?
근데 우승을 3번이나 했는데 왜
네.
톱시드가 처음이죠?
항상 제가 우승할 때마다 제가 광탈을 해가지고 포인트가 딸리더라고요. 저는 꿀조를 만들 생각이 지금 없어가지고 그냥 밸런스 있는 조를 만들고 싶어요.
잘생겼다.
저한테 얘기한 게 있거든요.
아 진짜? 모종의 거래가 있었어?
그렇게 안 하려고.
형들 생각 있어요.
오!
그룹에 산테랑 갈 수 있어요?
자기 8강 가고 싶다고
오!
테란 해달라고 하는데
오!
뭔가 그렇게 하면 제가 너무 재미가 없을 것 같은 거예요.
테란 너무 쓰레기 있어. 산테랑 괜찮아요. 너무 화났어 지금.
어떤 조 들어가고 싶어?
저는 뭐 저금하는 줄.
저금하는데? 박명우 어때?
저보다 잘하지. 내가 제일 못해 지금 게이머 중에. 너무 좋고 누구 볼지는 모르겠어요. 생각해봐야 돼. 아, 그래요? 3대 운동 하세요? 전해요. 저도 합니다. 얘보다 100 더 들어요. 네? 제가 더 들 수도 있죠. 너 몇 드는데? 저 스쿼트 80. 벤치 몇 드시는데? 벤치 60? 데드리프트 120.
그럼 둘이 싸움 누가 이겨요?
제가 이겨요. 항상 열려 있을게요. 원할 때 얘기해. 저 시즌에. 시즌에? 네. 오케이. 손 다치면 안 되나? 아, 오케이. 끝. 아우,
마지막이잖아. 아, 라.
이제 앉으실게요.
Semi-finals. Bunny. Trap. 2021 GSL Season 2. Code S. Africa TV. Freak Up Studio. Live. 2021 GSL Season 2.
So we are back here in the semifinals. This is day one, and right now, it's been a very one-sided series. That doesn't mean that Bunny can't come back, but I will say this. If Trap wins again, statistically, it's just very, very unlikely to recover. For Bunny to recover, excuse me.
There's almost no reverse all kills, so definitely that's the case. And, I mean, if you look at the experience they both have at this stage of the tournament, Trap is coming up on the most experience at this point, Bunny with literally the least.
Before we talk any more about this match, we do want you guys to participate in our GSL cheerful event.
Send us your graphics and stuff, your cheerfuls, your signs, your rooting stuff
we
for
can't
the finals.
We can't have people here in the studio. We did for like a week until we went to level 4 lockdown here. So we're back to the not so fun days of having no studio audience. So this is as fun as we can get it to be.
Yeah.
Make a funny or cool sign, send it in, and if it gets approved, it will be shown at the finals.
Yeah, and it's been really cool so far. You guys have made a lot of great artwork and made it more fun and more interesting for us.
Some of them have been hilarious.
Yeah, definitely. Seen some funny pictures in there. So do that, guys, and we will hopefully show yours, and it'll make the show better. You'll be part of history.
That's right.
It's the only way you're ever going to be remembered.
Right now. We're all going to be erased one day. Don't forget that. This is your one chance.
But before I die, I'm going to burn all the GSL seasons on a DVD and then shoot it into outer space.
Well, as we had hoped, when we die, we're going to have all the GSL viewers buried with us. So
in our giant pyramid.
Yes,
I love it. Oh, my God. All the GSL viewers.
So back into this match.
Such a great idea.
Yeah.
You guys owe us that much.
Yes. You guys have been watching for 10+ years. What did you expect? You're going to leave? Leave you after this? No, you're going down with us. We saw Bunny in a meditative state there. He needs to pull it together here on Lightshade, and I worry that he can't because Trap is looking so very much in control of every game of this entire best of 7. Bunny needs to, I think most importantly, survive until a little bit past mid-game, get a third base up, not die to any kind of pressure. And by the way, our game is ready to go. This is game 3 in Trap versus Bunny, the fight to get to the GSL Codes Finals.
Team NV, Bunny. Africa Freaks, Trap.
I really do hope Bunny's able to take this one. We need some close best of 7s in GSL. We have so many stomps in best of 7s. Like, a lot of that's Rogue's fault. Luckily, he has been eliminated already.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dark. Big cheers to Dark for taking down the villain Rogue.
That's right. For making this bracket a lot more interesting and less one-dimensional. Rogue is
if
gone.
Rogue was still in it, I'd be like, that's too bad.
Yeah.
I'm going to call out on the finals.
So, at this game, it's a double gas.
Yeah.
And we have a probe, of course, being sent across the map here.
I think this is pretty fortuitous of Trap that he's decided to do something cheesy and aggressive here.
Well, I think he might as well ramp it up, right? It's working. I think Bunny, it's undeniable right now that he's uncomfortable. Especially, you know, in certain matchups when you can just interrupt what the player's trying to do and basically cause this moment where they have to survive and play by your rules for a little bit, only to struggle free in order to maybe get an opportunity to come back. Now, this Marine, again, it's always these Marines that for Bunny that are getting him an out. Scouting this so he can identify what's coming. Now, we've seen this rush before. This is particularly strong in this spawn because your add-ons point out to the right.
Yes. That makes it so much harder to deal with. And, I mean, it's just hard to deal with anyways.
We should mention this is a Void Ray Rush. That's why it matters.
Yeah, that's true.
We said it was strong, and then we didn't say what it was. But basically, at this moment, it's... Oh, God. And now the Zealot's already doing damage.
Oh, man.
So this is all leading up to this big attack up here. Every hit on a Marine is permanent right now. Every bit of damage on an SCV could end up being a factor later on. That adept, he almost actually got in there.
Yeah.
You could see he...
Oh,
and
my
now
God.
a cancel. Okay, this is getting...
Bunny with the head shake.
Much worse. Keep in mind, in order for Terran to pull this rush, you generally have to follow a sequence of actions near perfectly. And already, things are
It's a
beginning
bad
to
opening,
fray.
man.
It's not a clean opening. The Void Ray comes in here, can actually get an interruption on the SCV. Yeah, look at that. He knows exactly how to stagger the shots. Does heal it up. It is not without some hit points being hit here, though. And now he can get the reactor. The depot goes down. That does not supply block the Terran as of yet, but it is getting him closer to that point because the second depot is going to be taken out here as well. And we could see this game just end outright. There are so many things going wrong, so many fires to put out.
He just started Magfield. He's not going to get that finish. There's just no way.
The Void Rays right now are stronger than the Marines when they have to go head-to-head.
He's trying to lure them so that he can, like, jump into the bunker. That's, like... It's such a terrible situation.
And now he's chipping away at Marines that can only be made one at a time because the reactor's been destroyed. A gateway is about to finish over here. There's certainly not enough to repair this. The Void Ray does glide away. And now, not only is Bunny being rushed here, he's lost all presence on the low ground. A third Void Ray comes out, and there's a point in time where the damage does just become too high. The barracks hasn't been relocated yet. Mag Accelerator already not even halfway, well, no, a little bit more than halfway done now.
Yeah, but God, it's so late. The amount of damage already dealt, I think, is the big problem here.
Look at the batteries that could be put down here at the bottom of the ramp. Is pretty much any edge of the base is going to be too strong. Almost gets that kill.
Oh,
with
hold
that
on,
dive
though.
in there. Hold on, one Void Ray goes down.
Yeah, one of them's really badly injured as well. Okay, gonna pull back. Didn't it, like, if he killed that Cyclone, I mean, that would have been huge, but as is, that's two Cyclones. He's about to have Magfield. Oh, don't even.
Oh my God, he denied it, but I think about 4 seconds left.
Less than that even, I think. That was insane. And that, well.
This is brutal. Trap is just crushing right now.
For 1/2 of a second there, I thought like there might be a chance, Tasteless, and then Magfield got canceled at the last second. So painful.
And now we're back up to 3 Void Ray Stalkers being warped in so quickly because of that gateway just south of this position here. And I think this may be too much damage. A nice pickup there with the medevac here, but again, these have not been fully repaired yet. I mean, there's not anywhere safe to put them on the ground as the medevac is destroyed. A Void Ray will be taken out as well. But again, how many SCVs are in this game? There's 14, and that number is getting lower every passing minute.
Whew. Even gets that last Cyclone as well. GG.
3-0. One more win, and Trap moves on. Bunny needs to do the full sweep reversal. This has to feel kind of funny as Trap because you know you are actually dominating so hard.
He almost messed that up.
You know, for RTS players, something can happen after you've lost a couple games in a row, especially when those games look a certain way. And usually they look like these kind of games where your opponent just beats you no matter what they choose to do.
Yeah.
Where it can be a real psychological blow.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
probably really in any domain, right? You can have things like this happen where it's in your head. Like if you're Bunny, you're just like, I can't beat this guy.
Yeah, everything I do doesn't work.
Yeah.
No matter what he opens with, it beats me.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to pull it together. 2,000 Atmospheres is map 4. Bunny's comeback starts now, or Trap goes on to the GSL Finals.
Team NV, Bunny. Africa Freaks, Trap.
Well, what does Trap choose to do this time? The man who cannot lose.
I mean, he's making it look so easy. And note that he's actually doing another double gas right away. I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, is he?
If, yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm crazy, actually.
Oh, okay.
I thought for a second I did see that. I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing he did in the previous game.
Yeah,
but
it's not a bad map to go for Proxy Stargate on.
But I think that position on that map in that last game makes it especially strong.
Probe around scouting, looking for any proxies. So it looks like Trap is going to go for a fast Nexus. Run Bunny's side. Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that he's just going to go ahead and expand. Maybe we can actually get straight up macro game and see what Bunny's made out of there. Would be nice to have Trap not just kill him right away.
I mean, this is, I think, one of the sad parts of the story that we have so far is that, you know, Bunny's built his success this season getting to the round of 4 when none of the other Terrans could get to the round of 8 by actually having really robust macro games and very clean timings. But the way that Trap's played this so far, actually I should say mainly in game 2 and 3, to be totally fair, Trap's just caused Bunny to be so on the defense and have to deal with whatever Trap planned for this game that Bunny never gets to do what he wanted. But that's the nature of rushing your opponent, is you're taking control of the game and forcing them to do your dance. But in game 1, Bunny had a pretty cool Widowmine drop, and I think the idea was there, but that did not work at all against what Trap had in store for him.
Yeah, I do want to mention that, like, other than that drop, Bunny hasn't left his base in this series.
Other than with one Marine to let him know that he's going to lose
like
in
he
a few
sent out
minutes.
scouts,
Yeah.
but like he hasn't been able to attack other than just the drop harass that he did in game 1.
That's correct.
He hasn't done anything. He just sat there and died every game.
Been on the receiving end.
Yeah.
For all of game 2 and 3.
By the way, I mean, this is a pretty quick triple command, but he's hitting it very well because they're in the main base.
Right.
So right now, Trap is probably thinking that he should be playing a little bit defensively, but it's a more greedy build here from Bunny. He's getting that +1 rather quickly.
Now, in this game, Trap, well, I should say he actually might go for that 4-gate again. Our casting could end up looking like what happened in game 2, where we speculate about 2 or 3 gates, but let's hold off on that. Like, it's possible he just goes for it again because it works, and I think Trap thinks he has better micro. Right now, I would imagine Trap feels like he's already won this series.
For sure he feels
like
that
the way these games are going.
How couldn't you feel that way?
And it's not like when Protoss does this, it always works. We have plenty of games, even for people like Party, who I think are the best at these types of builds. We have plenty of builds where the Terran does hold.
Yeah.
But right now, Bunny doesn't look very clean in his behavior. Or maybe I should say Trap is too on point with his control overall. Oh, what?
Yeah, gets in with the scout.
Did not see the 3rd command center, I don't believe. But, you know, when you don't see that many barracks, you kind of know.
Yeah, I bet you he's probably feeling that. So, looks like it is just going to be a 3-gate. You can still kill someone with this.
Yeah, this is more of a pin setup.
Yeah, normally this goes into a macro game.
Yeah.
You don't expect to be able to kill someone with the 3-gate. 3-gate blink plus prism. You do kind of keep them in their base. You do have damage potential as well. You see Trap getting ready for another base.
Now, if Bunny decides to do something unwise like push out right away, that Protoss can do incredible amounts of damage here, but I would imagine Bunny's going to stay back and play it safe. Now, we do have him dive in on top of this bunker, and unfortunately, Bunny's just not ready at all.
No.
And the bunker really is sort of the...
Much less ready than last time, right? Like this
is... well, the thing is, without the bunker, this happens where you just kite them. He does blink away, and he does manage to get the Warp Prism. Oh, I'm sorry, he does not get that away.
Yeah, he actually kills the Warp Prism, which is probably going to give Bunny a second lease on life here.
Yeah, but at the same time, look how these infantry are just getting chewed away at. I think that actually this game is going to end. I think we've seen Bunny basically fall apart here in the last game. We're going to have the Protoss come in here with an execution, I believe. He can blink in. I don't know what it is, what's with these timings where he just shuts these things down right at the last second, but now the Marauder's gone. The SCVs have been pulled.
And that's pretty much that, right? Like, he's taken so much damage. Trap has a third Nexus on the way. There's 4 units here.
He does kill the Observer, so I guess that's going to slow the rush down, and definitely this time around SCVs are going to be ready to repair. I think some of them accidentally go into the bunker for a second. But he is hurting, and there's enough Stalkers that if they all fire at once, the bunker just can't be repaired. The damage is going up too quickly.
And he's trying to hold on here with these Marauders and medevacs.
It's not going to work.
Yeah,
that's the end of our story, guys. Wow. A smashing, a stomping, a complete domination, a fatality.
Yeah, that was, I feel for Bunny. He's becoming such a strong player, and then he hits a wall like this.
Yeah.
And Trap's the best Protoss in the world. He shouldn't feel bad, but I would be shocked if he didn't, because that series looked like it felt bad. Everything he did didn't work. He wasn't able to do any attacks. He did not get too macro. There were no third bases. There was nothing. He just got smashed by Trap's builds every game.
Yeah, you're completely right, Artos. He never got to do what he basically practiced. Trap took control, and I'll tell you what, man, if you can't defend, you're never going to be allowed to attack. And that's what happened back there. We're going to go to an interview now with Trap and see how he's feeling. He is in the Season 2 of the GSL Finals.
Wow, overwhelming power for Trap. He defeats Bunny, and he moves on to the finals. Congratulations, Trap. Thank you. This is your GSL Finals in 2 years. And today has been overwhelming performance from you today. How are you feeling? I did not expect today's match to go to be so easy. In the first game, I won in terms of battle wit in the mind game. And all the other maps were very good for me. They were very favorable for me. And in a lot of aspects, I did perform well today. Wow, I mean, this year you went to all kinds of finals, and today you showed great performance against Bunny. You can almost feel this overwhelming force from you, Trap. I feel so happy right now. I mean, this year I went to a lot of finals, but GSL Finals is definitely a lot more special. In the pre-interview, you mentioned that Terran is a very strong race. But the score was 4-0. So I'm pretty confused today on Trap. Can you explain to us? Well, I mean, looking at the race alone, I think Terran's a good race. But I did analyze Bunny really well before the match. So in the game, I was able to show that, and I think that was why I was able to win. And this is your third GSL Finals, Trap. Your strategizing and your build, everything has been perfect today. In Oxide, the opponent probably anticipated DTs, but you went for the stock, Blink Stalkers instead. So can you talk us through? I mean, I do like Stargate. I use it very frequently. But my probability of winning is isn't really rational to that. But in order to win, I think I have to kind of throw away the Stargate. So I did prepare the gateway strategies primarily today. But I mean, still Stargate build is a thing that I use often. But I feel like Bunny might have a counter attack to that. So that's why I went for the builds today. Trap, you did mention before that you tend to go for the macro when your builds don't work out. But we never got to see a macro game today. After 2-0 in Light Shade third game, I did prepare a macro game. But I was ahead in the score 2-0. So then I had this moment of hesitation whether I should just go for the macro or just go for the early game. So then, I just decided to stick to the original strategy that I was going to go for. And Trav, you've been showing great momentum this season. And you have 3 Super Tournament gold medals on your hands. And now is the time for you to lift up the GSL trophy. And your finals opponent will be either Dark or Parting. Is there an opponent you prefer? Well, all the fans say they prefer the PvZ instead of the PvP. But personally, I find the PvP easier, more comfortable for me. I mean, that's right. If you go up against Dark, it's going to be a very formidable opponent. And he was the guy who gave you the 2nd place before. So do you not want to play against him in the finals? I mean, I don't really care if I do meet him. But if I had to choose between Dark and Parting, I definitely prefer the PvP against Parting. Okay, you rather go in the PvP. Okay, that was Trap's opinion. And Trap, very consistent player, and he puts in a lot of effort. And now he is having his eyes set for the GSL trophy. So anything you want to say before you go, Trap? I'm always grateful to the fans for cheering for me. And this is GSL finals in a long time. I'll try to prepare well, and I'll try to show a great result in the finals. Trap, will he be able to lift the trophy this season? We'll look forward to your performance in the finals, Trap. Congratulations. Thank you.
Well, that was a semifinals match.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how else would you describe that, Artosis?
It was pure domination. Just utter domination there.
It really was like some of these boxing or UFC matches where there's so much hype behind it, and then within 3 seconds, someone gets knocked out.
Yeah,
you know?
And honestly, like, he explained it pretty well that he shied away from his normal Stargate builds, figuring that Bunny would have good counterplays, and we talked about it, right? How some of these builds would have been much better against Stargate openers. So,
yeah,
Bunny, I think he doesn't have the experience in this stage of a tournament, whereas that's like literally all Trap does is make it to the end of tournaments.
Well, we're watching.
It's almost like his job is to be a professional gamer.
Yeah,
a
gaming on a professional level.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it? A game?
When they say professional, I go, what does that mean exactly, professional? And according to Webster's dictionary, it means it's your profession, it's your job.
But it's a game. It can't be your job. But it's almost like it's his job.
Oh, but Artosis, it is his job.
Figuratively.
This is the era of gamers.
Oh my
all
gosh.
Capital letters.
So he's like an athlete, but like a cyber athlete?
You could say that.
Okay. That's
you could
kind of
say
wild.
he's an athlete in the cyber universe.
I don't think so.
Some would call him an e-gamer.
Electronic gaming.
Yes, or I was thinking...
it's just like Madden football, right? Electronic gaming.
You got it. You got it.
And Pac-Man. It's like those two in this game.
This game, exactly. Dark vs. Parting is next. That cannot possibly be one-sided. We pray for mercy from the great Mobius strip god that will not happen.
I know.
Dark versus Parting should be a lot of fun. It should be pretty crazy. And Parting is going to have some insane strategies. Dark is I would say an extremely creative Zerk. Dark did manage to actually take Rogue out, making this entire round of 4 a lot more interesting. And look, a quick note on Bunny getting this far. I think this is going to be a very crucial growth spurt in his career to almost get to the finals. He was the only Terran that made it to the round of 8, and I think he was a little bit shaky these games. He didn't appreciate how much planning Trap would actually put into these games, how much Trap would basically completely flip his style. And that's actually very valuable in the long run as a pro gamer.
Yeah.
StarCraft isn't like all these other games where the esports thing is going to be around for like 2 years or something. It goes on and on and on, and you can pour your life into it. And this is an important moment here for Bunny to learn from this moment, to come back even stronger and to not give up.
Yeah. And I hope that he does, and I think that he will, because he is in great shape. And I think that this is a player in maybe the next 2 years that can maybe take down a championship. If he keeps going like this, it's a real possibility.
I think so, for sure. He has not given up. He's been very tenacious, and sometimes people really bloom in their skill later than others. And I think Bunny's one of those players. I think a lot of people watching can appreciate that as well. This doesn't come easy to everybody. And so
no, it does not.
I think I don't know. I wish him the best of luck. I apologize. This is so short. That sucks. I feel like we're not even really warmed up.
No.
It's been literally an hour and 6 minutes. So,
well, let's
crazy.
make it an hour and 7 tastes before we shut this down. Don't forget, we want your cheerfuls.
Right.
We want signs from you for the finals. Trap is one of the guys, so maybe you want to start drawing a picture of him riding a Sentry or something like that. I don't know. I don't make cheerfuls.
Maybe you can make a Trap card meme. We have never had that before.
What?
Oh, it's just something the Zoomers are doing. Don't you worry about it.
Okay.
Participate in that. We can't have a studio audience again because restrictions changed, so don't forget that either. No more tickets. That's all the time we have, guys. We love you. Bye-bye. See you Thursday.